Me here, you there, gutting the sacred cow everywhere. What's up, guys and gals? Kevin Goatee here. It is time indeed for a brand new episode of Gutting the Sacred Cow, the world's best movie review / movie debate podcast out there. Joining me this week, well, wow, first timer Chuck Nice. Boy, he spits some fire as he decides to attack Michael Douglas's 1997 thriller, The Game. Remember that one? You know, the one with the clown left outside his house that he brings inside for some stupid reason. Is Chuck going to be able to pull off this one? Everyone loved this film. Let's find out. Barry, hit the lights. It's boner time. Chuck Nice, can you name the quote that movie is from?
No, it's a weird thing. I'm probably the worst person to have on a movie podcast show because
and here you
I
are.
don't really watch movies. I'm not a big movie buff.
All right. I will tell you the answer then. You've probably seen this film, though, and that film is called Road Trip.
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah.
Didn't stand out, but who gives a shit? Kevin Goatee, Chuck Nice hang out with me tonight. Chuck has decided to do a little film from 1997 called The Game, but we want to thank you for listening to Gutting the Sacred Cow, the best movie review and movie debate podcast out there, where we invite our guests to pick a film they find overrated or hate and try to convince us to see their argument. But the twist being you must pick a film widely beloved, critically acclaimed, or a financial success, because we love giving a platform to those people with unpopular opinions about our most popular films of all time. Chuck has chosen The Game, 1997, a budget at the time of $70 million, a box office haul of $109 million. Turn that into 2023 money, $130 million budget, a $203 million gross.
Unbelievable. Like, who would have thought that there was such a thing as a $130 million turd? That's pretty awesome.
Did you not see Captain Marvel?
I did not.
Oh, it's terrible.
See, I did not.
And it was a lot more than that.
I didn't see Shazam. I didn't see Captain Marvel. I barely saw, I barely watched Endgame. Barely. Like, I love all those movies, but I got to wait until I know that it's safe. I got to wait until I know it's safe. I can't waste like life and money on shit movies. It bothers me so much. And believe it or not, like, I've been on many a movie set for many reasons. Some of them I was in, but I will tell you, it's one of the hardest things in the world to do. Make a movie. It's so much work goes into it. So, and I have such respect for all filmmakers. I don't have respect for all film products.
Like The Game. Chuck, why don't you tell me this? What do you think The Game scored on the IMDb, 1 through 10 with decimal points?
I'm going to say, because Michael Douglas is beloved and Sean Penn is also well respected, and they are the two, it's one of those movies where somebody has to carry it. It's not, they don't make movies like this anymore where it's like 3 characters. That's the whole freaking movie. Everybody else kind of moves in and out and around these 3 characters. So I'm going to say they gave it a 7.7.
Either you're cheating or you're clairvoyant, because it is exactly 7.7.
What?
Someone wins both showcases on The Fabulous Price is Right.
Yeah,
Monster.
man. No, it kind of makes sense to me because, like, I see anybody who enjoys movies, they definitely know these 2 actors and they probably love their work, and so they're looking at the performances. The movie was absolutely horrific.
Well, hold on. We'll get into
we'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You are. That's right.
Okay.
Let me pirate this ship here. Now we go to the Rotten Tomatoes score, Chuck. What do you think the critics gave this? 1 through 100. Critics, Rotten Tomatoes score.
So critics can be a little more discerning, and they might consider plot. But once again, they are beguiled by actors who look good on screen and clearly know what they're doing. Some actors just look like they know what they're doing when they're up there on that screen, man. And Sean Penn and Michael Douglas are two of those actors. And what's funny is that they make the other actors look like amateurs. You know, it's so funny because they're so laissez-faire about the way they go about their parts. Like it's, you know, which is what they call believability. I'm going to say Rotten Tomatoes 75 out of 100.
Very close, sir. 77.
Wow, look at that.
What about the audience score? Same deal, 1 through 100.
Audience probably liked it a lot more because, you know, this was supposedly a twist on a twist on a twist. Oh my God, they got me. They got me again. Oh, you know, it's one of those types. So I'm going to say the audience came up about maybe 7 to 9 points. So you say 77 and 9 is 86.
You, sir, have a nose for this. 84.
Okay, there you go.
You got the finger on the pulse. I'll give you that. Quotes from this film. There goes $1,000. Your shoes cost $1,000? Well, that one did. That's a legit LOL line right there. I laughed when I heard that. I'm sure you did as well.
That was a very good line because and they're climbing up a fire escape. By the way, this is what I love about the podcast, man, because I saw this movie when it came out, I guess, you know, or at some point many years ago.
Right.
And I tried to like it then. And I think I told you in the email, like, I remember trying to like this movie back when it came out and everybody was talking about it. And I couldn't like it then. And I absolutely hate it now. But it's funny that line, I had to rewatch it, the movie. And I was just like, I can't believe Kevin gave me homework. I am sitting here doing homework to be on a podcast.
I do homework. I've done homework for 170 whatever episodes. We all rewatch every film that our guest picks. This is not just me saying, because I saw it in 1997 as well. I was in college. This is me saying I rewatched this shit Friday or Saturday. I forgot when I watched this.
Yeah, I rewatched it yesterday.
All right.
Yeah, I got home yesterday from a function. I was like, yeah, let me put this on. But I'm going to say that was one of the lines in the movies that made of all the terrible things that could have happened. Him climbing up a fire escape and losing $1,000 shoe was funny.
5 fun facts. Deborah Kara Unger won the role of Christine, the film's mysterious female lead, by sending the filmmakers a reel that consisted of her sex scene footage in David Cronenberg's creepy Crash. Douglas and Fincher weren't sure if the audition tape was a joke, but fortunately they met her with her in person and found her charming and capable.
Sound like a Me Too setup. I wouldn't have done it. Send me a sexy tape, and guess what? You are off this job.
You ever see? I saw it was NC-17, so as a teenager or early 20s. I'm like, yo, there's some fucking in this film, and people get into car crashes and started masturbating and having sex after car crashes.
I mean, that's pretty normal where I stand. Listen, I just fucked up my car. The least I can do is get a little release,
get a little nut off.
Yeah, right.
Hey, let the insurance appraisal guy touch that while he goes around looking at damages. Number 2, in 2012, Fincher recalled that he and his partner, producer Sean Chafin, told him not to make the game. In hindsight, my wife was right, he told IndieWire. We didn't figure out the third act, and it was my fault because I thought if you could just keep your foot on the throttle, it would be liberating and funny. I know what I like, and I know one thing I definitely like is not knowing where a movie is going. Okay.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, basically what he just said was, we had no plan, we had no script, but we made it anyway.
Yeah.
And we made money. See, so guess what? Because that's all Hollywood cares about. Did it make money?
Exactly. No, did it not lose money? That's what it really.
That's true. That's all. Yeah. That's true because it doesn't. As long as you don't lose money, you get as many chances at bat as possible.
Deborah Carr Unger fractured a bone in her foot and jumped in a dumpster infested with real rats while working on this film.
Okay, it wasn't a low budget film because they had $130 million.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out why.
Realism.
Yeah.
Realism.
What happened
realism.
to? It's called a stunt person.
Yeah.
That I mean, yeah.
I'll give you a.
Why would you put a perfectly good stunt person out of work?
I don't know. I want to let you guess this. I don't think I can get it, so I'll just cut to the chase. Jeff Bridges was initially offered the role of Conrad Van Orton after Jodie Foster dropped out because it was rewritten as a male character. Jonathan Mostow was originally set to direct the film in 1993 with Kyle MacLachlan as Nicholas Van Orton and Bridget Fonda as Christine.
Wow. So that would have been even worse.
Right. Is this a Twin Peaks kind of reunion shit here we're going to do?
Yeah, I'm like, wow, I didn't think it could have gotten worse, but guess what? That just let me know that this is better than what they had planned.
Here's one that I said, you got to be kidding me. Charles Martinet, who's that? That's the guy who played Nicholas's father, has been the official voice actor for Mario since the 90s.
Get up. It's me.
Mario.
It's me, Mario. I mean, really?
Yeah, that's what the internet says, and the internet doesn't lie.
That's so true. I mean, seriously. Told me who my father was, and I believe it.
Goddamn. We're going to do Ask 23andMe instead of Ask a Gutter. That's our next one. Let's go to what the fans have to ask you, kind sir. And that, of course, like I said, is our segment called Ask a Gutter. At Nemirovsky, could you restrain yourself from going homicidal if you were put through the same shit Michael Douglas's character was dealt with?
You mean, I assume he means homicidal on the people who did it to me.
Right.
And the answer is no, because they hate you. Anybody who would do this to you hates you.
Right.
And as a result, they must be punished. Also, it is scary enough being a black man to begin with. I don't need you to concoct a giant, like, scary monster scheme to scare me straight. You don't have to. I'm already scared. Okay, I'm walking around scared all the time. All right, so yeah, not necessary.
And his follow-up question, Michael Douglas not killing everyone after the whole "it's just a prank, bro" ending is the most "that doesn't happen," a catchphrase in this podcast, thing in a film full of "that doesn't happen."
So true. And guess what? If that doesn't happen is a phrase, then we need to like up it to that never happens. That would never happen. Like that. This movie is just beyond believable when it comes to that doesn't happen.
We'll get in it. We'll get into it. But first, and that actually is going to close up that. Ask a Gutter. Not many questions for you on the game. People were more like, really? That's going to qualify for the podcast? I said, yeah, people really like it. That is for sure. And one other joke. I take that back. At Pedestrian says, I answered this post with a snarky reply, and all I got was this stupid T-shirt. LOL. A callback to when he got stranded in Mexico.
That's what he. Yeah. I was kidnapped and taken to Mexico, and all I got was this T-shirt or something like because he was actually kidnapped and taken to Mexico or something. It's like. I got to give it to them. They were committed to the bit.
This is like those moments we just did Breakfast at Tiffany's where I don't know if you've seen that or even Say Anything, where they had these hard right turns. Like in Say Anything, the dad commits Medicare fraud. Like, wait, what? This is about two teenagers trying to figure it out. And Breakfast at Tiffany's, it's just no, she's a hooker. Not saying she's a hooker. But he's a playboy, a male prostitute. Not saying he's a male prostitute throughout the entire film, of course. And then she gets busted because she's with the mobster who is drug related. Like, wait, what? Again, that's the writers making a right turn. Like, shit, we got to escalate this somehow. Quick, bring in peyote, stats. Let's figure this out. All right, next. Hey, no one listens to the end of podcasts, so let's get those plugs out right now. Chuck Nice, what are you up to, and where can we find you?
Oh gosh, let's see. If you have Disney Plus, check out my show on Disney Plus on the Nat Geo panel. It's called Brain Games on the Road. Of course, I do a podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson called Star Talk. Uh, I am about to film a comedy special, so look for that this fall. Please,
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. Whatever you do when my comedy special comes out, I don't give a fuck if you hate me, like me, nothing. Just get the damn special, okay? I don't care. You don't even have to watch it. I don't care. Just just get the special.
Turn on in the background and walk out of the room.
And walk out. Who cares? So there is to it. I don't care. But yeah, so that's what's going on, man. The comedy special is going to be accompanied by an album, so it'll come out at the same time.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that again. Don't forget guttingthesacredcow.com to find some sweet ass merch, hats, mugs, bags, the whole kit and caboodle. Does anyone say kit and caboodle anymore? Fuck,
yes,
I don't know.
Of course. The kit and the caboodle both say that.
Hell yeah. And while you're doing that, go over to your favorite podcast platform of choice, wherever you hear us, and just give us that 5-star rating, 2 or 3 sentence review. That helps us with the algorithm. And if you want to advertise with us, guttingthesacredcow@gmail.com, or just if you want to say, hey, what's up? So, Chuck, I know you're dying already to do this, so why keep this stallion, cornered up? Let him out. Let him graze. Let him run. Time for Chuck Nice to gut the sacred cow.
Nice. Well, first of all, I got to tell you that this movie was the biggest piece of shit that I've ever laid eyes on from start to finish. Because, like I said, I wanted to do my due diligence and actually watch it. And the name of the movie should be 142 minutes of wasted life. That should be the name of the movie. It really. So here's the premise for those of you who don't know, because I'm sure you're not going to watch this. So it's Otto von Otten, or whatever Michael Douglas's character's name is.
Nicholas Van Orton. Yeah.
Nicholas Van Orton. And I love how they put a van in his name, like he's rich. Don't you see it?
Super white.
Right, exactly. Because the only van that you get in a brother is Van Dross. Like Luther, if it was Luther Vandross, that'd be anyway, different movie. So Nicholas Van Orton is the son of a magnate who committed suicide by jumping off of his own filthy rich mansion and killing himself in his semicircle driveway in front of his kids. Scott, by the way, if you've ever seen Succession,
yes,
the opening sequence of Succession is lifted straight from this movie. Only cool thing that I liked about it. The opening sequence of Succession lifted right out of this movie. It's almost like they were paying homage to this movie when you see the sequence. But anyway, what you find out in the little montage is that his father was a cold, unfeeling, assholeian guy who basically just was about money and nothing else. There's one part where they have to take a picture together, and he looks like he's taking a picture with Kanye West. That's how fucked up this dad is. He just hates his kids, he hates his life, and he hates himself. And then he ends up showing it to everybody by jumping off of his own roof.
Hey kids, you know what? You can't throw a curveball. This is how disappointed I am in you. Splash.
Right. Not even splat.
Yeah.
So fast forward to now. Nicholas Van Orton is a grown man, a hedge fund manager with his own firm, and he's managing assets in excess of $600 million, which is a few $billion by today's standards. I
like the accent you're putting on, by the way, the British accent. It's playing perfectly.
But, very good, very good. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it because, quite frankly, as I speak about Nicholas Van Orton and his vast wealth, this is what comes over me. But Mr. Van Orton, of course, is a captain of industry, and he is now in a position where he is, how shall we say, the invisible hand behind so many lives. But he himself, cold, empty, divorced, living in a mansion with many rooms, but no room for love. So anyway, it's so great that I'm making this shit up as I go along right now. But so what we find out through a series of events is like he's a real asshole. I mean, he's just like, he's Grinch like, but his heart is like 3 sizes smaller than the Grinch's heart,
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I don't care. I sit at home by myself. I jerk off onto my pile of money. I go to sleep, and then I get up and I go make people's lives miserable, which gives me more spank fodder for the next night. That's his life.
Jerking off on a pile of money, that's an avenue that DuckTales should have taken with Scrooge McDuck.
Wait, you didn't see that episode? That's where I got it from. Anyway, by the way, that was the sound his dick made when he came. Anyway. So here's the deal. Now, his brother, who is Sean Penn, is super cool, laid back guy, went into a vision quest down in New Mexico, did some ayahuasca, found out that he's connected to the whole universe, and on Mr. Van Orton's birthday, shows up and says, hey man, got you something. Here it is. It's a little card and happy birthday. And the card is for this company called CRS, and they do recreational services. Okay. So he's like, okay, whatever. I don't care. But then little does he know that this is a ruse to suck him into this big gaslighting scheme to turn him into a nice person. And really, the most unbelievable turn of events start to fall like dominoes, one right after another. 2 guys who somehow are now a part of the club. By the way, for those of you who believe in conspiracy theories, this is your movie. Yeah. All right?
This has got Illuminati shit written all over.
Oh, my God. If you think 9/11 was an inside job, you are in for a great time. Watch this movie. Okay? If you think we didn't go to the moon, this movie was made for you. Because for a conspiracy to work, and this is why most conspiracies are bullshit, because it's a secret plot that so many people have to be a part of, there's no way it could have been fucking secret. Yeah. That's the definition of a conspiracy, conspiracy theory. It's like, we didn't go to the moon. Do you know how many people would have to be involved to fake the moon landing in order for the moon landing? It's actually easier to go to the moon than to get that many people to get and be a part of a conspiracy not to go to the moon. So here's what happens. 2 guys pretend to be like these well-off business owners who are in from across the Great Pond, and they're talking about, they just happen to be talking about CRS. Oh, I know what CRS is. So then he finally goes there. Let me go see what this is about. And of course, this part was kind of cool. If you want to know how to sell, if you want to know what great salesmanship is, the scenes at CRS where the guy is trying to get him to join by not getting him to join is a 100%. master class in salesmanship. Yeah. He says, yeah, we need all this, but this is probably not for you. Or
when the girl calls him to say, I'm sorry, your application's been rejected.
Denied.
Yep.
Because he's an alpha male. Nobody denies me.
Yeah.
I'm Nicholas Van Orton. Anyway, of course, the idea is that you get your purchase, a game was purchased for you. You don't know when the game starts, but it's the game. Oh, what if they try to scare me, whatever. So here's the things that happen in the game for him. Oh, okay. All right, let's start it off. He comes home, and there is posed in his driveway, in the same position that his father, who jumped off the roof, was found, that he witnessed as a kid. The clown is in that position like it jumped off the roof. Like right there, I was done with this movie. Like, how fucked up is that? That's not that like that's not a prank anymore. That's called psyops. That's somebody who is trying to destroy you. Like they faked they recreated his father's death with a clown in his own driveway. Then, of course, the TV starts talking to him because the clown has a camera in it, and the guy on the television is like, like say Don Lemon just starts talking to you, like you're watching cable news, and Don Lemon just goes, "Hey, Jimmy, why are you eating that ham sandwich? You fat piece of shit!" Like that's what happens. So he's like, "What's going on?" Long story short, of course, we know all these things are part of the game. He somehow doesn't figure this out, that this is part of the game. He goes to work, to the club. Girl spills stuff on him. She's part of the game, of course. And that's the, what's her name? The actress.
Deborah Kara Unger. Christine's the character.
Christine.
Name. Yep.
So Christine's a waitress. She spills stuff on him. He goes after her, of course. Okay, boom. Right then, a guy falls in the street, has a heart attack. Like, at this point, you're like, okay, this is crazy. Like, there's no way this shit could ever happen in real life, He goes over to the guy. Of course, he's an asshole, so he's not going to try and help the guy. But, at least my thing is this. None of these things would work if the guy was really as much of an asshole as they said he was. Because if you're that much of an asshole, an old guy falls in the street, you're like, I don't have time for that. I'm late for a meeting.
I got this dinner reservation in 20 minutes. I got to go.
Exactly. Why would I go over there and check on some old dude? Because I'm an asshole. Anyway, he and Christine, the cop tells them, you got to fill out this paperwork. No, I don't. That's another thing. He's like, he's supposed to be a captain of industry, a man who rules other people's lives, but he takes orders so easily. Yep. Fill out this paperwork in the back of this ambulance. Okay. He gets in the ambulance. They get somewhere. It's all of a sudden, all the people run away. Oh, okay. This must be my game. Lights go out. Everybody disappears. Oh, this must be my game. They go upstairs. And of course, where are they? Oh, they're at CRS. Oh, what's going on? Now he and Christine are on an adventure together. None of this shit makes any sense. 1 minute, you're leaving the club. Yeah. The waitress spills something on you. The next minute, you're inside of this abandoned warehouse place where there's a building. A company that supposedly you just signed up for. The whole thing makes no sense. And then that's when the one good line in the movie happens, because they escape and they're running from a dog, and he loses his shoe on.
You make a great point about that. He follows around like a dog. Without the promise of pussy, which also makes me scratch my fucking chin and go,
Yeah. Like he doesn't, like nothing. Anyway, long story short, she gets in a cab when the whole thing is over. He goes back to his, and then, okay, boom. But, okay, now all of a sudden, he gets a call, all right, out of the blue. Oh, you left your credit card. Okay. He goes to the hotel. Now, by the way, right now, you're thinking, left your credit card where, Chuck? Well, you didn't tell. They don't tell us.
No.
He just accepts the fact that his credit card was used to check into the most expensive hotel in town, and he goes down there to get his credit card. Instead of, I didn't do that, cancel my credit card, and then call American Express. He doesn't do that. He goes to the hotel and finds, oh, they set me up. Okay, what's the setup? In his room that he did not rent. He did not get this room, okay? In it, there are pictures of a woman. There's porn on the TV and a woman who is half clothed, and cocaine is all over the table. Now, first of all, this is the point where it's just like, all right, this just turned into the real game. It's a gift now. You guys, now I get the gift. Okay, bring the woman back. Let me keep the coke, and happy birthday to me. No, he's like, oh my God, he's not in any of the pictures. He did not rent the room, but yet somehow he's so upset that his name is on this room where this porn is playing.
He even cleans it up.
Yes.
No dude cleans up a room unless I've left rooms where there's condoms on the floor. I'm not proud of it, but I've done it. And just
Yeah.
leave an extra tip for the maid. Going, ugh, just
Exactly.
sorry.
You kidding me?
Sorry.
I cleaned up with the drapes and left 20. Just left the 20.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, they go through all these machinations for you to find out that, or for him to find out that this whole thing is a clever ruse. CRS is really a scam company. And they took all of his money. How'd they take his money? Well, he calls the banks and all the banks tell him that his accounts are zero. Oh, this cannot be. So now he's giving them all the passwords and all of his account information over the phone, only to find out that, oh, wait, his accounts are totally fine. Yeah. And then the people from CRS are like, that was the whole game all along. We wanted to steal all your money, and now we can. They then pretend to shoot at, not pretend, they shoot at him. They drive him in a cab, back of a cab, into the river, which he somehow, they had given him the window handle. That's how long. By the way, they had electric windows in 1997.
Yeah.
But yet they gave him a crankshaft window. He rolls the window down. He gets out. This thing is all over the place. You see how crazy I sound explaining this?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much going exactly how the movie went. That's how ridiculous this movie was, that I'm pretty much explaining it the way it happened, almost in sequence. And guess what? It made that much sense. It was terrible. Long story short, he finds out that all the people involved are actors, and the conspiracy to take all of his money, he still believes. Then she says, what kind of, he pulls out a gun, and she says, wait, where'd you get that gun? He goes, oh, it's my gun. She goes, wait, that's the wrong gun. No, listen, the whole thing is a fake. Your brother brought this. It's a fake. Your brother's behind that door. And they're going to open that door, and they're going to have bubbles and champagne. They open the door. He shoots. He kills his own brother. His brother falls to the ground. There's blood everywhere. He goes, oh my God, I just killed my brother. He jumps off of the roof, falls through a glass ceiling, like a skylight.
Breakaway glass.
But it's all made of breakaway glass. And he falls into a stuntman airbag. So if you ever seen stuntmen jump off of like a 3-story building, and then they fall into this giant cube, that's what they had waiting for him, because they knew he was going to kill himself. That's the other thing too. Every single thing that he does, they have, now he took a psychological test, yes, but it's so exact. It's so exact. The prediction of his particular moves, it's ridiculous. He kills himself, but he doesn't kill himself. It's breakaway glass. They have a stunt bag waiting for him. And then they're just like, Mr. Van Orton, don't open your eyes. Okay.
It can still cut you. It's breakaway glass, but it can still cut you.
It's breakaway glass, but it can still cut you. Yeah. It's okay, Mr. Van Orton. And then he gets up, and of course, it's a party. Oh, it's his birthday party. And his brother comes out. Hey, man, you were being kind of an asshole. He actually says that. Yeah. You know, you were really getting to be an asshole. I had to do something. You had to drive me off of a pier into the fucking river. That's what you had. How about this? Hey, man, you seem like something's on your mind. You want to talk? How about you try that before you shoot at me? so oh, it's all squibs. And it's such bullshit.
Let's go to the strip club and let's go to the strip club and have a talk over a lap dance.
You know what? There you go. How about that? Yeah. A lap dance and a scotch. Hey, man, you've been kind of a dick lately. You know, I'm your brother. I just want to know what's going on. So the whole idea was, this movie doesn't work nowadays because we have something called therapy. So, 97, they didn't have therapy, and it's so funny because he goes to, when he's at lunch with his brother's like, happy birthday. And he goes, so you've been taking that medication? And he goes, I'm not talking to a therapist anymore, and I'm not taking meds. I'm doing great. Can you imagine if somebody said that to you today?
No. Pitchforks and tiki torches, kids.
Could you imagine if somebody said, fuck therapy, I'm doing great, and I'm not taking those meds. Yeah, and things are really wonderful for me. There's no way, man. So, by the way, anybody who is like anti-woke, please start this movie at the end and watch it in reverse, and you will have the happiest ending ever. Because you'll see a guy who is like totally humble and like worried about everyone turn into the biggest money grubbing asshole ever.
So then that,
So
Mrs.
anyway-
Lincoln, how was the play?
Exactly. So anyway, that's why I hate this movie. Those are all the reasons I hate this movie. That and here's the biggest part. After everything he went through, Christine says, "Hey, do you want to come to the airport with me and have a cup of coffee?"
All right.
Now, mind you, he's at his party, and he's like, And I'm like, really? After all that, you didn't learn that it's impolite to leave your guest at your party to go to the airport, like with some chick who basically just scammed you into thinking that you were part of a $600 million financial fraud.
Wait. Who dosed you? How about that part?
Yes, she drugged him.
Yeah.
And sent him to Mexico in a box. I forgot that part, guys. Thank you, Kevin. That's he wakes up in Mexico without his passport and without any money because she drugged him and put him in a box and sent him. He wakes up in a crypt in Mexico. Okay, and this woman invites him to coffee, and he's like, "Oh yeah, fuck those people upstairs." I'm like, "You learned nothing."
Yeah.
You're
Well,
still
that's smart on her behalf because it's like he can't come kill me in an airport. A, there's too many people, and B, I am literally getting on a plane and going somewhere he can't catch me unless he buys a ticket that exact moment and gets on the same flight with me. It's like he can't tail me, come home and go, "Hey, remember that part where you drugged me and put chloroform over her face and make her pass out and then put us a crucifix up in his own house and go, I'm going to bleed you out slowly now. You watch," shit like that. The airport's the safest place in the world. So that's actually
Exactly.
smart on her
She was
behalf.
smart. What I don't understand is why they didn't make a sequel to this movie where he just seeks revenge on every single person. Like, why?
He's like
didn't
he's a new jig. He's the white collar jigsaw.
Yes.
I want to play a game. That's my shitty Michael Douglas impression.
Exactly.
What do you got for me, Chuck, on a score, 1 to 10?
Oh God. If it were 1997, I would say 5. If you watched it today, I'm going to give it a 3.
Got it. 3.
Yeah.
These notes brought to you by guttingthesacredcow.com. Grab yourself a hat, mug, shirt, bag, whatever. We got everything. And, of course, guttingthesacredcow at gmail.com. Give us a follow on all the socials, Gutting the Sacred Cow Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, GTSC Podcast. Notes! How annoying must it be to have to wear full suits at a summer party if you're rich? I swear, if I get to that fuck you money, I'm still gonna wear flip-flops and shorts like I do every day in the summer.
But Steve, that's the real rich.
I know.
Okay. Notice that Rick Rubin doesn't show up in a suit.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like that guy shows up in flip-flops and shorts with a beard that makes him look like he, like
lives under the underpass.
Yeah, exactly. Homeless dudes like fall asleep next to him because they feel that comfortable.
I'm surprised Michael Douglas does not have a driver taking him to work every day. That was a shocker of all, I thought. Like, wait a minute, that rich and you don't have a driver? I don't know.
That was the first thing that I noticed in the movie, and then I figured it out. BMW paid for products placement.
They could have had a driver drive him in that BMW.
That is true. By the way, that's he had a 7 Series, and that is the car that you would have a driver for. Yeah. So, absolutely.
Seymour Butts is called for Sean Penn's character. We all know the famous porn producer. That is pedestrian. What are you, in the 3rd grade? Couldn't you have done Dick Gazinia or Loose Cunt? Right. Someone up your game, goddammit. Here's something I thought you were going to nail, and I'm shocked you didn't. Where the hell does Sean Penn get that money to pay for the game for his brother when he is on the balls of his ass?
Oh, no. He's you got to remember that Sean Penn, that's the whole idea, is that they're both filthy rich because of their dad. So that made sense to me.
I mean, he says he's woke up on the beaches of Ibiza.
Right.
I mean, that's either a very rich man thing to do or a very poor man thing to do. And the fact that he's just bumming around, not up to much, I was leaning toward he pissed through all of his father's financial wealth. And then that's what he's like, I've got an extra 500,000 laying around. Let me get my older brother as a real jerk off, a hell of a birthday gift to help him realize it. Like, I just had an epiphany while in said beach in Ibiza.
And by the way, his brother at the end of the movie, he says, you want to go half, and they split it, which you just paid to have somebody terrorize you for a week straight? What the fuck?
So I was saying either, again, Sean Penn not having the money, that's a lot of heroin balloons to mule from the beach of Ibiza back to the States to pay for that kind of charade. Michael Douglas eats a cheeseburger on a Kaiser roll. No wonder why he's so miserable. What psychopath eats a cheeseburger on a Kaiser roll?
Exactly. Roast beef only, baby. Not a burger.
Fine. Any kind of deli meat, but not a burger.
Yeah, but deli meat, not a burger. Yeah.
What shitbox person calls someone Connie when his name is Conrad? That's a nickname I throw fists over.
Well, that's why his brother hated him so much that he put him through this whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, that's the part they cut where he goes, by the way, stop calling me Connie, you fuck.
How many Connies were there besides Connie Mack, the manager of the Philadelphia Athletics? There you go.
Oh, that nice pull.
Did you know, thank you, I'm a sports guy. Did you know Michael Douglas said his age, the character's age in this film was 48? He doesn't look a day under 55, for Christ's sake. I'm 46, and he's 48? Fuck.
Yeah,
those are some city miles, my friend. Look, I tap out on surveys that are more than 20 questions. He's doing a physical fitness, mental test, and watching slideshows of snuff porn for something he's not even sold on.
He doesn't even know what it is.
Right. A millionaire that has that much spare time? Bullshit.
Absolutely.
If this is a film to get me to feel bad for Rich Michael Douglas, it is not working. That is like I would feel bad for Pete Davidson every time he gets dumped. The 9s and 10s will keep coming back to his 9 and 10-inch dong. Boo fucking who.
Exactly.
This film is not indicative of San Francisco because I don't see any homeless people shoplifting or taking dumps on the sidewalk, and I don't see Barry Bonds shooting HGH as his hat size increases from 8 3/4 to 3 feet.
I love it.
Why would you drag that clown into the house? Why
would you?
There's nothing that can come out of that. I will let a homeless person sleep on my couch before I bring a Saw knockoff into my house.
Yeah, I'm not bringing a clown anywhere.
No.
As a matter of fact, why didn't you set that clown on fire the moment that you walked up into your driveway? If I walked up into my driveway and I found a clown, it is going to burn.
Yeah.
That's all there. It's like in the house, get the lighter fluid, clown up in flames. Those are the steps.
2 words, Viking funeral. The next level of mindfuckery would be to have Nicholas's ex-wife deep-faked as part of a 28-man gangbang as he turns on the TV. That would be the next level shit that, as comics, we would do.
You know, that could be good, though. I don't know.
You ever wait tables and spill something on someone? I was in Aruba in November when a waitress spilled an entire tray of drinks down my back and barely got an apology. You know how much they knocked off my bill? $25. Do you know how much my Casamigos on the rocks cost me that night? $40. There's a lot more than I'm sorry. It's you know what? Your meal here free.
Yeah.
When all the lights went out at the hospital, excuse me. I fully expected when the lights to come on to have the gay guy from Airplane saying, "Just kidding." You know what else would be fun to do, Chuck? I would love to just hand out keys to random strangers and then say, "You'll know what to do when the time is right."
Oh my God, that's yeah,
or a door handle.
Exactly, door handles or keys,
yeah,
or handfuls of keys, like two fistfuls of keys in your glove compartment.
Yeah.
You're in on it. That's Sean Penn finds a bunch of keys in his brother's car, and he's like, "You're part of them." It's crazy.
Is he having his own key party but jerking off by himself?
Yes, he knows each person who left the key. It's him. I'm gonna make love to me all night.
Who isn't? Me next. This came out in 1997 when Michael Douglas was banging right in her prime, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
But boy, wowza, did he pay the price for going down on her, because he got the hot batch of HPV in his throat.
Yes, he did.
Hey, look, if you're going to get in a car accident, make sure it's behind the wheel of a Porsche and not a cabriolet.
Yeah. I really think he got the throat cancer because this movie, he just couldn't swallow. He couldn't swallow the fact that he did it.
Hey, let me ask you this, Chuck. When does a hospital security force have German shepherds that attack intruders?
You know, and by the way, then they're patrolling the street.
Right.
They're not even on the grounds of the hospital.
No.
They're just in the hospital security car,
right.
And they let the German Shepherd out of the car to
right.
Crazy.
Nicholas never responds to anyone when they say good night or have a nice day. I'm sure he also never looks to help directly in the eyes.
Yeah, except for his mom, who he made his maid.
Yeah.
Yeah. They forgot to tell us that that's his mother.
Oh, the real game could be if Nicholas can pass charm school. Yes or no? Find out on ABC, 8:30 this summer. By the way, he's worried about naked Polaroids and blow in a hotel room, but Motley Crue can throw the furniture out the fucking window and nary a care, right?
Tell me about it.
How the hell did the maid not kibosh this whole game? She's the closest to the family, unless her angle is to torture this miserable old fart who probably gives her a Jelly of the Month club as a Christmas bonus. The musical score and song choices in this film are solid, especially when the house is ransacked. I dug that. I thought it was good choice.
What was the song? Jesus.
I forgot too.
It's a rock song.
Old school one.
Old school. Yeah. Okay. Forget that.
Nicholas has a cell phone the entire time, but calls the cops just once. Just once.
Exactly. One time he calls the cops. He goes into the river. Yeah.
It's whatever. The scene where Nicholas is at Christine's house with all the fake books is great. But how do the gunmen miss with all that live ammo?
Yeah, tell me about it. They're shooting up everything except the two people that they're shooting at. And by the way, fully automatic weapons.
Yeah. By the way, those weren't squibs.
Right. Squibs don't hit windows and explode. That's not the way they work.
Lucky for Michael Douglas, he's carrying that spare window handle like I carried condoms in my wallet in the 90s and 2000s. Of all his business partners and small circle of friends, no one said fuck off to that company when they said, just play a game with me called Pretend, and here's the story. Not one of them said, fuck this, man. Yeah. That's a bridge too far.
Hey, we're gonna psychologically destroy your business partner.
Yeah. Bankrupt him. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm cool.
You know what? He's a real jerk off. Why not? You know what he did? He put a dildo in my desk drawer, but I'm gonna get him back big time. James Reborn on the top 10 of hey, I know that guy from that movie, character actor.
Yes.
Everything in the 90s.
And by the way, that's exactly what I was doing while I was watching. I was like, that's that guy from that thing.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Now, Michael Douglas wakes up in the trunk in Mexico. This sounds like a bad combination of the films Buried Alive and The Hangover. Thankfully, this cut excludes a naked Ken Jeong.
Yeah. I like Ken Jeong, though. He makes me feel good about myself.
Oh, from the waist down, you mean?
Yeah.
You know what's not good? His stand-up act. His Netflix special.
Please don't tell me he's doing stand-up.
Yo, so they did a roast. I forgot it was for who. And Caroline Ray had one of the best lines I've heard at a roast. She goes, Ken Jeong is here. Hey, I didn't know they filmed open mics for specials. I lost my shit. Dude, it was so bad. I lasted like
I haven't seen
7 minutes. His wife, the running joke goes, "My wife's name is Ho," and it was a whole nonstop. My wife's name is Ho for about 7 minutes out of, I don't know, 50 something. But I tapped out. I go, I'm done. I'm
Damn.
It's trash. Next, and so they're going over this plan to send him to Mexico without passport or a cash, and no one in his circle of friends said, "You know what? I'm going to draw the line here because I don't want to end up as a headless corpse from a cartel drug deal gone wrong." Michael Douglas got across the border back to America with no problem, and hey, he didn't have to wait 35 years for Joe Biden to declare open borders. But I tell you what, I give the screenwriters credit because they went full bridges burned and foreclosed on his house.
Yes.
Damn, dude. Again, that's worse than saying, "Hey, here's your mom. Here's a bunch of Polaroids of her taking 7 dildos in her butthole. I re-raise all in." Like James Reborn, one of these days, I would love to have my autographed headshot make its way onto a restaurant wall. And then have it stolen would be an even greater honor.
Yes. And then the shop owner half-heartedly goes, "Hey, you taking my picture?"
Yeah. That was her SAG card right there.
That was it. She was like, "I'm in, baby.
Yeah.
I'm in the union. I got a speaking part."
I like how they said they used blanks, but blanks don't leave holes in siding, walls, or cars. But
Right.
blanks sure made holes in Brandon Lee when they were filming The Crow.
Ooh.
I was 30 years late on that one, but okay.
I was still too soon.
I like how they kept up the tension and the tone throughout the film. They stuck to the plot. They stuck to the guns on that one. Again, I'll let the cab driver do that shoulder roll out of the cab as it heads right into the bay off the hook. But again, thankfully he had that trusty door handle in his pocket.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's funny is he knew how to, it's a very specific thing to get out of a car that's filling up with water. And somehow this man, who is an aristocratic, filthy rich business owner,
Right,
who spends all of his time sitting in an office, was perfectly well versed in how to let a car underwater fill up with water and then swim out of it. Do you know how hard that, first of all?
Or he could have called from the back of the cab, "Help, there's a maniac driving me in the cab and I'm headed toward the bay.
Exactly.
Quick, do a GPS trace on me." This would have been great when Sean Penn was shot. He then sits up and says, "Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass." If Sean Penn really wanted to get Michael Douglas to jump off that building, all he had to start doing was telling stories of him in Haiti for the last 5 years.
Oh.
I saw this film in college. I loved it. I own it. I rewatched it a bunch. I rewatched it for this podcast. It holds up. But boy, all of that doesn't happens. Really go, man. Look, Michael Douglas is great.
Yeah.
Story is a great story and concept, but being forced to swallow all of that, like I said before, like The Matrix, I love. As long as you set the boundaries within whatever boundaries you set from the very beginning, like Star Wars or The Matrix or whatever, I'll be all in. As a real world story with this, you're like, I'll let some shit slide, but after a while, like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, just the as you said before, the all around unbelievable component of getting 100+ people to make someone's life miserable, not one dissenter. I mean, look, it's not like Jeffrey Epstein is the target of this film. Everyone's out here just to take him to task and destroy him. If you listen to this podcast, I've defended this film before. I like it still. It's not as great only because of all the, oh, come on, moments. This is a 6 out of 10 for me. I did drop my score a little bit. I still like it.
Still like it? I just hate it so much.
I get it. Look, you make plenty of points. I'm not arguing with you.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, but it's a lot to swallow. All right, so critics 5-star reviews.
Okay.
The Game is possibly David Fincher's finest movie, or at least a close second to Zodiac, and it is a pity that is sandwiched between Seven and Fight Club. See,
wow.
I think this.
By the way, First of all, everybody loves Fight Club.
I don't. I
Okay,
don't. Overrated.
good,
Overrated.
and it is. And Seven, everybody loves Seven too. That but also,
Decent.
it's decent only because Morgan Freeman was great.
Sure.
That's what really once again a guy carrying a movie. But this movie I say is worse than both of them.
Zodiac is decent, but it kind of just you'll see it once and go, all right,
Yeah, all right.
whatever.
Yeah.
A feral puzzle of absurd corporate antics, Fincher's third film posed a horrifying question that no other filmmaker has dared to ask. What if Sean Penn was your brother? I chuckled at that. The rational side of my brain can pick this movie apart until all that's left is incoherent threads. The movie mad side, happy to lose control, had a hell of a good time. Engaging 90s thriller has lots of profanity and violence.
Okay.
That's why it's rated R, you dickhead.
Exactly. I mean, listen, I'm going to say that if you want to suspend all belief, like including the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and any religion of your choice,
Yes.
then this movie will work. This movie works.
The film's message about complacency transformed by chaos and uncertainty is hackneyed. Amazon, critics 1-star reviews. That's a critic 1-star review.
Okay, that's Amazon. Okay.
Yeah, critics.
Critics. Okay.
The rocky blur between reality and fantasy aspires to be a Hitchcockian After Hours, but at 2 hours plus, the game gets played out early on.
Woo!
Puns.
Look at that.
But the script by John Brancato and Michael Ferris eventually reduces to a kind of visual and moral psychobabble, a surprisingly banal finale.
I agree with that. I'm going to give him that.
I must say, when it gets to, again, as I like it, when it gets into Mexico, I'm like, all right. Let's just land this plane.
Yeah.
If you find yourself thinking of simple solutions to hero's dilemma every 5 minutes, that's a pretty lame thriller. In the game, it's more like every 2 minutes.
I'm going to give him that. Yep.
Amazon 5-star reviews. One of those movies that will make you think about your own life and evaluate it. I don't know about you, Chuck, but I've often contemplated my midlife crisis options with a game that turns your life completely around, which leads to my kidnapping an unconscious body locked in a trunk in Mexico without being raped. That's my
when
options.
I consider my game, that will change. It's Shoots and Ladders. That's about it.
You ever play Fireball Island? That game is dope, and we still have it. Google that. It's fun.
Okay.
More twists than Chubby Checker. Great entertainment, fast-paced, and slick. Signed, Little Richard.
Shut up!
Great movie. I keep buying it. People keep borrowing it. Never get it back. We'll watch it again and again. Sounds to me like you have shitty kleptomaniac friends there, buddy. Next one. I enjoy any movie featuring A+ actor Mr. Michael Douglas. All I can say is, parentheses, please say it like Gomer Pyle, end parentheses, is surprise, surprise, surprise. Look, no one here is under the age of 127, so no one's going to do a Gomer Pyle impression. Thank you. Thank you. Amazon 1-star reviews. Dark, unbelievable con job. The Sting, this is not. Signed, Yoda. only thing that made it watchable was counting the plot holes.
Okay.
Right. Well, this one guy really gets to the nitty gritty. Two more logical ones. The problem with all these sorts of movies is that with some shadowy company doing all these shenanigans is that they break suspension of disbelief. One, the amount of money it would take to pull off this would be multiples of whatever they could charge for it. I'm talking tens of millions of dollars in customer cost. Two, they would have to run afoul of law enforcement at multiple points. Three, most people would have resorted to violence, i.e. with a real gun loaded with real bullets that wasn't magically tampered with, and the results would lead to criminal charges and lawsuits galore. The film is well acted, costumed, filmed, and scored, but poorly written, as per usual for Hollywood.
That person thought too much, but yeah.
Last one. Here we go. Poor Nicholas misses the breakaway glass and goes splat just like Daddy. Conrad finally realizes what a sick, sadistic fool he is and plummets himself down after. Splat! The ridiculous CRS crew throw their hands in the air in unison and exclaim, "This wasn't our fault, we're just doing our jobs." The movie set is suddenly invaded by stormtroopers who open fire with their blasters, killing anyone who was paid to take part in this asinine game, including David Fincher. Now that would have been a good ending.
I gotta tell you, you got me. I'm on board with this ending.
$15 later, Chuck Nice and Kevin Goatee walk out of the theater together going, "Huh, not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
Since I don't have a co-host, I will say that, Chuck, you indeed did gut the sacred cow.
Well, I just want to say that, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I will never forgive you for making me watch that shit.
I get that a lot for that. Hey, you chose a film, goddammit. Don't blame me.
I know. You're like, don't blame me.
There are some films I'm like, oh, I can't wait to watch that again. Or some films I'm like, ugh. Some films like, all right, this was all right, I'll watch it again. But
Nah, I think, like I said in the email, I was like, you know what? Maybe I will, after all this time, end up kind of liking it. Or at least maybe it'll be like, oh, well, you know what? This movie was kind of fun. It made me angry.
I hear you. Chuck, you're a gem, you're a doll, you're an absolute peach. Thanks again for coming on Gutting the Sacred Cow. And everybody else, we'll see you next time. Take care.